Yoski Broskis, coming up is a part of the almost 13-hour long Wowee Super Spec Sheet re-ranking talk show epic stream marathon and giveaway extravaganza. If you like this content, please consider subscribing to the channel and enjoy. All right, incoming chat, get prepared. Because I think StycksIntern's going to be coming in hot. Heyo, what's going on, SI? I think that you've got some real agreeable takes for me today, right? SI, you there? Maddie, are you there?
I'm here. You guys are just like,
sorry.
That's my audio output now because. Hello?
Hello.
We can hear you now. Yes, I muted for a second. I apologize.
No, all good. All good. How's it going, guys?
It's going good, man. I'm assuming.
How are you? What time is it? You're in West Coast, right?
Cleanse is one of the most important passives. I'm sorry. Cleanse is garbage, in my opinion. The chance to do remove one debuff in one game, frankly, I'd rather use the potion to remove that debuff most of the time because it gives you initiative back. I think cleanse is going to be one of the most overrated passives in the basic tier. So that was
you mean active, but yeah.
Sorry.
I still fail to see why you'd rather Iron Skin than cleanse. You know what I mean? I still feel like it's going to have more utility.
Because I have other tools that remove this debuffs better, more effectively. They give me more of a bonus. So I'd rather have that additional defense than the ability to remove a debuff one time.
Okay, so I'm going to say this right now. I completely and totally agree with StycksIntern.
Cool.
I think cleanse is actually a bit overrated for what it is right now, specifically because of its change from what it was.
Cleanse. What the hell is
I do love cleanse,
yeah.
But with their introduction of purify and the difference between cleanse and purify, it did knock cleanse down quite a bit. But also, SI is completely right with the difference between cleanse and Iron Skin. Cleanse can be used as a potion in not all, but quite a few cases, and the extra defense from Iron Skin. I mean, if you're about to take 1,000 damage and you pop Iron Skin, guess what? You're now taking 800, which is a significant. You're taking 200 damage less. That's a significant decrease. Whereas, I
think though, when
I get to cleanse a blind
potentially lasting the entire battle, and a class that doesn't have access to stopping that, instead of having to use a potion, you now have this built-in kind of safeguard.
Oh, 100%.
I still think cleanse.
You have a built-in safeguard that can be used once against the person that presumably can use blind multiple times. So it saves you one rotation.
Well, we'll see how many classes right now have access to blind.
Well, how many PvE encounters have access to blind?
Wait, Maddie, that is an argument against.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
what really gets me fired up though is Wowee wanting to buff basic attacks because
I still do.
I'm not playing with juiced up monsters when I say this. I'm playing with heroes that I've had since Sarandale that I've diffusely leveled that I actually was going to burn before Boar Hunts came out because I was like, this legendary sucks. It is leveled like ass. It is terrible, and it is now my best hero. And its basic attacks hit like a truck. If you buff them anymore, I have no more incentive to use my abilities at all. I will just basic attack because it has a higher degree of accuracy because it gets bonus accuracy, whereas my other abilities are taking an accuracy penalty. And I'm doing 110 on a basic hit, and it crits for 170, 180, and then applies a bleed because I'm using the Gore Blade, right? And when I'm like that, dude, if you make the basic attacks any stronger, I'm hitting for more than my Gladiator Strike hits. I still have the chance to apply a bleed without even needing to set up a combo. Why would I ever use Gladiator Strike if my basic attack hits any harder?
I think what needs to happen here is you need to check your non-potato playing privilege.
No. Heroes leveled up in Sarandale 1. They are not excellent. They're not stoned. They haven't been crystal.
I heard the word with my gore axe. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about
Gore blade.
Potatoes need equipment, man. If you're not, if you think you can get by without using equipment and on basic attacks, that's ridiculous, in my opinion. That is a ridiculous statement. I don't want to play that game. I want to play a game where the equipment is like necessary because I don't want people running around naked.
In a perfect world, I do.
I really like.
I'm cool with it.
I really like the idea of making basic attack better with equipment, and not. There's no need to touch basic attacks on their own. It's supposed to suck if you don't have equipment. Like, I don't know why you're trying to make all heroes amazing, and I don't think it's necessary.
Well, here's the idea, right? If we make basic attacks more incentivized to use because of strategy, that means they gotta buff our abilities again to make them feel better.
Wow, you are the slippery slope. Wow, you're the slippery slope.
Hell yeah, give me that power creep.
It happen faster. It's gonna happen. Why do you need it to happen faster?
I just want it all the time. But I like this cleanse discussion as well, though, because I think this is really one of the pivotal points. Is, should I just bring a cleanse? Right? What kind of debuffs are out there that currently cannot be cleansed through potions, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's quite a few of them, but
the biggest one right now is Confuse.
Right, the ones that are active.
Fear's the big pain. I could beat the demon box if I didn't have that one feared turn.
Yeah. Fear is super frustrating, especially if your team is archers. I mean, or anybody right now. Everybody's physical damage right now, so doesn't matter.
Right. So fear sucks. Confuse is super aggravating, right? And these are all, I mean, super wonderful things because fear is, I think, one of the strongest debuffs in the game, specifically because it is an instant effect and then a lasting effect.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, thanks for the follow, Demand 0007. I like that. So fear has a stage 1 and a stage 2, right? So the push 1, which interrupts, and then the target can't perform actions or physical that deal physical damage for X amount of rounds, right? That's insane compared to Confuse, where it's just a lasting effect. You know what I'm saying? So every single debuff is going to have either an instant effect or a lasting effect. Fear combined them, right? So, like, say for instance, Daze is an instant effect. It interrupts, right, and pushes you back in turn order. But Poison is a lasting effect, where it doesn't do anything right away, but it does something over time. So Cleanse, I think, is more powerful for the overtime, which can only really be used for the overtime stuff, and has almost zero place when it comes to instant effects.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, agreed. It has like you can't cleanse Daze and those other stuff. So yeah, I agree.
Though I have seen that, like, when you get Daze, there's a Daze debuff, and I don't know if you cleanse that if you get your initiative back.
I also
you don't. You don't. You put it on an AMA. Hubert's addressed it. Your initiative's gone.
Gotcha. All right, good. That's good to know. That's good to. I don't know where I didn't hear that, but cool.
Also, quick thing on Confused. SI, you set this on. This might have been last Wednesday, but the 50% chance to do a basic attack. Is yourself included in that?
I don't believe so because I've never seen it happen. And
right, because that's was part of your assessment. Part of your assessment was that it's like a 60-40 chance to hit the opponent, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because it can only hit one of your two friends. You can't hit yourself. I was curious on that, and maybe that's a question we could ask Hubert when he's on, because I've played
a lot of games. I've played a lot,
and you haven't seen it. Yeah.
Confused, and I've never seen it. So I'm either like a really low outlier or it doesn't happen.
Right.
Thank you, Critter 88, for the follow. Love you both.
But yeah, and also I think so sorry. So going back to the cleanse though, so you need cleanse when there isn't a potion that does these things.
Right.
Fear, confuse. We have a potion for poison. We have a potion for blindness. We don't have a potion for bleed, so bleed would be another one. And then I don't believe there's potions for chill and burn whenever those go live, we haven't seen that yet, right? Because those have a similar kind of stacking.
it's a health potion. It addresses the entire effective bleed is a health pot. So,
well, yeah, well, not really. I mean, the status still stays there. But
right,
yeah, I
but
know,
the effect
yeah. So all right. I'm gonna stick by guns. I still think cleanse is the best basic. I'll need to see critical aim and death mark in action because I think they're both could be very useful and are probably similarly ranked to cleanse. But I still think cleanse I'm going to give the little tick over. But I also really like blinding winds, so I don't know.
Yeah, so much stuff is happening now, right? It's like where do we put where do we put blinding winds now that we've really been able to feel blind? How imperative is it to get rid of it, right? Now that we've felt how powerful a cleanse can be, or how not very powerful a cleanse can be, how imperative is it? I still think that it's one of the, like, if you get cleanse, it's good. Period. Like, you always thumbs up for a cleanse, because if you are on a healer, like say you bring a healer, right? I'm not talking about these crazy comps where you're just going in and you're strong arm and everything. I'm talking about these comps where you're doing your Holy Trinity, you're going for stability. You bring a healer and you can either heal or cleanse this turn, like party cleanse or party heal or cleanse one, right? But you need to do both, right? Thankfully, my archer has cleanse, so I can do both this round.
Yeah,
I can burn that cleanse this round, so that the fear doesn't affect my warrior in the front, and he can can move on his round. That's value, right? If the warrior's more valuable, you know what I'm saying? Like, would you rather use an ability from your archer or an ability from your warrior? Which is more important, right? Depending on strategy. Thankfully, you have that in your kit.
In my mind, the most valuable potions I'm using are the mana potions and managing how I'm using my abilities from my damage dealer, which hopefully in the future will be, maybe a caster or something like that, where like I see so much more value in, and this goes back to something you said, SI, I see so much more value in having a hero having this as a move than wasting some of my battle budget, getting rid of a blind or a poison. I think
I get that, but in playing the box, maybe this will be tuned down in later ones. I rarely run up to my battle budget. I'm usually using one blind potion and one health potion.
Yeah.
Again.
But I mean, but that's PvE. That's kind of how this thing was designed. I think in the future, especially in PvP, I think having a move, I think doing the move is going to be more. I want to say cost effective, but that's not really the right term. But you know what I mean? Like, I think it's going to be more efficient to have it as a move. Than,
Well, I think the optionality is good, because I think there are situations where one will be the better choice, and situations where the potion will be the better choice. So, yeah, PvP is the great, question mark, because if you're going up against people who are trying their best to fuck you over instead of like a puzzle, things change, and it's hard to predict how things will change.
No, totally. All right, but Wowee, I want to push you on there because we should probably get to this. Do you want to start with these traits, and do we want to be starting to give them some actual ratings, or some re-ratings, I should say?
I think it's a good idea. I mean, StycksIntern's a great echo chamber. I feel for this stuff right now, because I feel like he's coming in hot and spicy, but I feel like he's ultimately going to agree with what we have to say.
I hope not.
But let's see what time we got. We got 40 minutes of this hour left. I don't know what your schedule's looking like, StycksIntern.
We don't have to. I'm just saying, let's just do a couple.
Laundry at the laundromat at the beach. It's got 31 minutes, and I'm throwing it in the dryer, baby. I'm here for hours.
All right, so let's do it this way. Let's talk about your since you wanted to come on early. Let's talk about your favorite traits, and let's get those done first.
Ooh, all right.
Oh, my favorite traits are Second Life, Resurrection, Last Stand, Science. I think that the difference between basics and advanced, I kind of view as like the bottom tier, right? I don't think advanced really get you that much over basics, but I think elite and Exalteds are significantly better, just like on paper and certainly in the game. But of the basic ones, I mean, I don't really have a favorite, to be honest. I think Deathmark is probably up there.
Big fan.
Like I think any of the basics are just like one small ability that's outside your kit, right? Is potentially the game there, and like, but most of them are going to be in kits. Otherwise,
yeah, I like that take, but I honestly want. I really, I love your statement on the advanced and transcendent traits being so far removed from the trash that is the basics, and I want to bite back on you. I think
no, it wasn't.
I love the advancing with the basics. It's the elite and the transcendence that I think are sweet. I actually think most of the advanced aren't like very impressive. No,
yeah, wow. His hot take was that the advanced are not any better than the basics. Is basically what he's trying to say.
Interesting. I like that. I like that take, and I would actually wager that, like, specifically in the basic passives, a combo of the basic passives will beat the elite and transcendent out in terms of like meta and counterplay.
No, in the elite and transcendent, there's no way. There's no way like having the ability. Like, which basic passive are you comparing to Second Life right now? You said two of that's better than Second Life.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. A double Second Life I think is really good, but I think if you're running,
do you think it will be?
I think it's the best combo you could possibly have. Personally, but what I'm trying to say here is I think counterplay lies in the basics rather than in the in the transcendence, because if you're running on a like let's say like you're running a disabled team or a counter meta team, and the meta right now is all like melee characters, like you're just running you're running Dread Knights, you're running Dragoons, you're running Warriors, because Warriors have an Intimidate ability, and it just makes you guys live. You don't need a healer, right? But like your Dread Knights, like fully fear-based to like halt everyone, right? If you're running double Fearless into that party, you've got a way bigger chance of winning from their like debilitating strategy. Especially if you're going into tournaments and you have like a hero pool to swap out from, counterplay is going to be in the basics. Your heavy hitters are going to be in the elite and transcendent abilities. But if you go to like say it's best of 5 rounds, on round 4 and 5, if you're making it that far, no, you're going for complete basic builds to get rid of the chance of being dazed or the chance of being feared or the chance of being silenced. You're getting rid of those pieces.
I think you'll have other ways to respond to that just fine by building out like with your hero selection to where Second Life will still be a better choice than doing that if you have it available. And if you don't, well, then you will be forced to choose tactics like what you're saying here, as opposed to building your comp around the fact that you have the most busted ability in the game. Think about it in terms of like responding to it, right? Oh, you have built up double fears. Well, that's great. So one of my tactics is unavailable to me now, maybe, but I'll just use the other crowd control in my kit and I'm fine and good to go. What do I have to do to respond to your Second Life? I have to kill you again. I have to take the accomplishment of the game and repeat it, that is devastating on the other side. I mean, I don't like thinking about these things in terms of how they would feel when I use them. I like thinking about them in terms of how it would feel if it happened on the other side of the battle to me. And I can't think of anything more annoying than I've just used my combo. I've just set up my perfectly timed combo, and I'm exhausted now. And you come back to life, like, great. Now I've used all my mana. My hero's exhausted, and you're standing there at half health, ready to go, ready to fucking go. And like, there's nothing more devastating than that.
It's true, but you got to remember, you're also exhausted when you come back.
I still think it doesn't matter, even if you're taking away fear. I still think you're still just one hero taking away fear, whereas you're not taking away fear, but you're a hero and a whole nother other hero that comes back afterwards. Like,
right. I think your main I'm gonna go for it team. Second Life
is always going to be better.
Oh yeah,
than any of the basics.
That's that's perfectly fine. But I'm saying that the basics aren't as far away from Second Life as like everyone's trying to make it out to be. Again, It's a transcendent ability. It's going to be strong. It's going to be great no matter what. And I would say that your elites and your transcendents are going to be in your A team no matter what if you're going to be running them, right? That's the first team. You say it's best of 5 tournament. That's the first team you're going in with. You're going with your Giant Slayer. You're going with your Last Stand. You're going with your Second Life front line, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, once you're trying to cycle in what works better, you're going to be going for counterplay rather than straight survivability and beastliness. Although I will say,
I'm forcing everyone else to counterplay to me. That's what it is.
Correct, but that's also, I mean, that can also not work in your favor. I mean, if someone throws, if like I said, if you're a full fear comp, like you're just like push, fear, push the next one, fear, like you're just rotating to the front and fearing them. If someone throws in a double fearless, like you just got Jinzo'd in your Yu-Gi-Oh side deck, man. Like,
I mean that's fair, but I don't think that's a particularly compelling composition. It like, I think you're picturing this fear comp where like that's the only thing they can do to be effective, and they'll just see you have a double fearless on it and be like, all right, focus fire that one, good to go, and now I've win the game because I can control the other 2 heroes just fine.
Exactly, but that one you're focusing on is my tank.
Yeah, I mean, and if based on how fast I can get these mama boars down who have like tank levels of health, I'm not tripping.
I mean, that's perfectly fair. I mean, I like where you're sitting on. This is truly hypothetical, but I mean, I like what where is it? Rubetto said like the perfect thing. Blinding Winds counters Giant Slayer. And I love that so much because it's legitimately true.
Well, but okay, no, but think about this. To respond to Blinding Winds, I spend I spend half a turn using a potion and it's gone, and now my Giant Slayer is effective again. So really, is it that much of a counter?
Unless I'm lower health than you.
I mean, it is. It is a counter. In the long run, it's not going to. It doesn't defeat it. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't eliminate it, but.
And it's very easy to respond to. It costs a half a turn and 2 stone of your battle budget. That's it.
I mean, that's
all I need to completely negate your blind that might apply when you use it. Maybe.
That was when you leave Pallet Town, you're on Route 1, you catch a Pidgey, and you just do sand attack every fucking round, and then you beat your opponent because they can't hit you with shit. I mean, like, yes, that is a technique for like a low level kind of hero to maybe counter somebody stronger than them. But like, I don't know if that is a tried and true, win,
Yeah, it's just math. You're spending a whole turn and one of your 2 active ability traits to get this maybe blind, and I'm spending half a turn and 2 stone to get rid of it. And so like my cost is significantly less than yours in that scenario.
I mean,
so that's why I think
value assigning is really fun in this scenario, right? Now, again, StycksIntern, like, I'm not arguing the fact that like Second Life is like two fearless equals a Second Life. I'm saying that the initial lineup is going to be your heavy hitters with your elites and your transcendents, and the counter picking is all going to be in a mix of basics.
Yeah, no, and for Wowee, for additional context, the reason I'm being so aggressive about this is like the Mythic Squad guys have been so down in the dumps lately about traits, and I can't understand why. And I think part of it is that you are validly out here trying to hype up the value of these lesser tiered traits and say that they will be usable in like counterplay situations at a high level and very important. And I think they're getting the wrong message, and I'm trying to make clear that like no, like these aren't better than your advanced and elite, than your elite and transcendent traits. These are really easy to respond to by comparison. So that's why I'm being so aggressive about it.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
But also, I will say, I think it was the last episode of Mythic Squad. Beav and Mosh sound like they're on a ledge right now with the way they're like, if these traits are not good, like it sounds very dramatic when you hear them talk about it.
Oh yeah, that was tame on the stream. That was tame.
They sound like they're on edge. Obviously I think heroes, double second life and they're going to be the top tier. And like, yeah, these basics will have some counter potential. Like that's how we're talking about it. We're not talking about it like it's better,
Okay, so I will do this. I will re-rank Second Life right now, and not because StycksIntern says it's really good, but I want to re-rank this specifically to give it a Wowee.
Okay.
Because I mean, right out the gate, it's
out the gate giving something a Wowee.
Right, I know, but there's a reason. It deserves it. Second Life is legitimately the best trait you could possibly get. No, not only is it, you know, the rarest,
it's better than Resurrect too. Yeah.
But I do hold my old remarks about this one, right? It gains more value the more HP, defense, ability, evasion that you have on whatever hero this is on.
Right.
The more
if it can survive during that exhausted period, man, you're golden.
The more survivability that the hero has with Second Life, the more value you get out of this. Period. End of story. Right. And yes, I have it bolded here. Meta if user has 2 of this passive. If you've got double Second Life, like,
I don't think any exists right now, right?
Very, very little of counter picking is going to really affect that. Maybe double Foresight.
Yeah. Wait, SI, do any exist right now?
Double Second Lives? I think there's a couple in the game. I don't know how many.
I gotta look that up.
Oh, Cool's got a double Second Life Resurrect bar.
No, he killed that one.
What?
Yeah, he killed it.
He burned it.
For the greater good of mankind, I would assume.
No, it's because he was going for a quad stack, I think.
No one man needs that much power.
Yeah.
There's 19
because we have a lot of non-gamers in the building. I've realized this more and more, and it always surprises me. We have a lot of non-gamers. It's not just Skiller. What does meta actually mean in this context?
That joke under the radar. I hope Skiller heard it.
Yeah. So meta is an acronym in this context. In the context of gaming, it's actually an acronym. It doesn't mean like, outside a layer beyond as it normally does. What it means here is the most effective tactics available. That means that it is the best possible thing you can do. So when Wowee says there, meta, if you have 2 of the passive, he's saying that there is nothing that is possibly better than that. That is what that means.
Correct. Sorry, I am currently trying to remember what day it is because I've been
Saturday
on it's the Wowee Super Stream Epic Marathon Extravaganza.
I know, right?
I was just on DFK Analytics. There are 19 heroes that have double Second Life, including just one legendary, and it's a Summoner Ninja owned by O'Cool.
Of course it is.
Yeah. There's like 2 rares, and then the rest are uncommons and commons. But 19. Oh shit! Wait. Oh, then you know what?
This 20. One just got made.
No, this list includes dead ones too.
Oh,
it has the bard on it, so it's probably less than 19. Then.
Well, it's probably 18. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone killed one of these. But I mean, there's only a handful that have double Second Life, and if they do, they're gonna be the best heroes in the game, no question.
Yeah, without a doubt, double Second Life is completely meta, and StycksIntern's point of I'm going to force you to counterpick me is exactly what this is. Depending on what the counterpick is, which I mean, like I said, if you've got a double Second Life Dread Knight and like your whole shtick is I deal a lot of damage, I take very little damage, and I'm fear based, like I'm just like throwing fear statuses out like crazy, then running your front end with double fearless helps. It doesn't necessarily guarantee you the win.
Yeah, I can get behind everything you just said there.
So do you think
they'll potentially touch or mess with Second Life?
Yes, I do. I think Second Life is going to probably be this is my my assumption for what's going to happen. Anything that's rated this high, even if it is transcendent,
right?
Like it's going to be nerfed in the future. Like I'm sorry, everybody. but Second Life will be nerfed from where it is right now. But it'll be augmented, right? It'll still be impactful. It just won't be as insane because all of these numbers were made before any balance was taken into consideration, right?
Fair, yeah.
Second Life, the way I see it occurring is when you die, it's going to bring you back to either 20 or 25% HP and 20 and 25% MP. I know there was a question in the AMA last time, like, will you consider like adding mana to Second Life when you come back? And they were like, we really don't want to do that. We don't like MP batteries, which is a fair point to have. But
I have a totally different opinion on whether that's a fair point. But go finish your thought.
Yeah, so I think what's going to happen is it's going to set your MP to 20. Like, say Second Life is going to be a Resurrect with 20% HP and 20% MP. It doesn't matter if you had 80% MP before, you now have 20. I think that's the way they're going to go to make that even out.
I think that's fair, but I don't think I don't see them bringing you back with less than 50% health because that's a kick in the balls. Like my non-exhausted heroes can still take you out from 25% pretty easily. And so they'd have to remove the exhaust if they did that. And I don't think they want the Second Life hero to come back and immediately crush. I think they do want to give some reward to the player who successfully killed another hero.
I think what they're going to end up doing is taking out the exhaust and putting in a slow.
Yeah, I could accept that. That would be good.
Like that's the way I see it. Like in its full final form, it's come back to life when upon death. Come back with 20%, and slowed. Unless they want to go crazy with it, you come back 20%, and you take a turn immediately.
Yeah, that would be be more like every single time I've seen like a Second Life mechanic used in like anime or any sort of fantasy. The dude comes back and is god tier every time.
Yeah.
So it's like there was telling me my guy's gonna come back and be a fucking wimp. No way.
I've reached my final form.
Yeah, there is a gacha game I played for a while where the meta unit was actually someone who was meant to be killed, and as soon as he was killed, he came back, he did a turn immediately, he got a buff, and then he did a gigantic AoE upon coming back to life.
Yeah. No, Skiller made a suggestion, like, what if the other team had a chance to be confused? And I freaking loved that idea.
That's actually really funny.
But side note on the mana battery issue, that's a total red herring in the context of this discussion.
I agree.
Because it's not really a mana battery spell. It's not like it's not that situation where I can sit there on the last, boss mob in a pre-boss fight in a dungeon and farm up mana. Like letting someone kill me so that I can come back with 20% mana or 50% mana is not going to be the call. Because it's really not the repeatable mana battery sort of situation that I think is really where mana regen mechanics get, cancerous for games.
Yeah, this is what. All right, so the question I want to ask, like Workhorse when he comes on, which I know I'm brain farting right now, and I can't remember when he's coming on.
In 20 minutes, sir.
Oh, it's the next. Oh, shit! It's already almost 3. My God. One of the questions I really want to ask him is, since the team started with making the NFT first, how has that impacted the limitations of the game that can be built around it? Because you can't go back and just remake all of the NFTs to fit more conducively into the game. You have to build the game around the NFT.
Yeah,
and I think one of the things that's going to be difficult is HP and MP.
The answer is it's the most challenging game design that has ever existed.
Yeah, you built a house by starting with the roof.
Yeah, no one has ever set out to do this, and they're doing it. So
it's legitimately going to be incredible if and whatever they pull off, to be completely honest, because like they have to make it fit with the growth formulas that they've already put in place.
I feel like every time I talk to Workhorse or anyone from the team, I'm just like, wow, it seems like you guys have a hard job.
Yeah, right. And I'm just sitting here going like, man, I just want to sit here and think up real cool moves for a pirate to use all day. Like that just sounds like fun. All
right, let's get another re-ranking done though.
All right, cool. let's see. StycksIntern, pick another one that you like. So we picked a tranny skill. Let's pick a basic.
Oh, I don't know.
A basic trait.
Yeah, re-rank. I want to see re-rank speed. I think that's the most.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the most challenging one.
It's the hardest one
because I mean it hasn't changed. It's going to be reworked.
It has to change.
Like at the moment, in terms of
it's ripe for speculation though. So it's like what you gained first strike in each of the 2 rounds. So that meant like it advanced you to the top of the turn order for 2 rounds. I could see this working effectively like the swiftness potion does.
Yeah,
basically a free potion.
So the way I see this being reworked is very similar to that, where it deals, let's say, a basic attack of damage, and then it gives you an agility buff, exactly like Swiftness Potion for 2 rounds, right? So it'll be 2 turns that come up really fast, rather than, like, how long does the Swiftness Potion last?
90 ticks, 90 I think.
Ticks.
Yep. Okay, yeah. So it's going to be like two full turns of having a speed buff. Right.
And so this becomes really cool with channeled abilities. I don't know if any of you have tried. The only game I've tried with the Swiftness Potion, I ran the top tier 4 and tier 5 channeled combo on an archer, and it was sick. I started the channel, used a Swiftness Potion from one of my other heroes, and I was able to get off that channeled ability and the other channeled ability after like only one of the 3 box had taken a turn, and that felt really powerful.
Well, it is. I'm so glad you brought up that combo, man, because like when we were talking about like I was on the Mythic Squad stream a couple weeks ago. I was like, Swiftness Potion is going to be where it's at. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Well, because that first one has a built-in boost, right? The first channeled one you do, right? It has the initiative boost.
Initiative, yeah, exactly.
So you're like super speeded up to do that second one right away.
Right, you do like your second channel immediately.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
So all right, so Wowee, I agree with you. I think this is just going to be kind of like a Swiftness Potion light. However, something you said, and you know, we've talked about this of why we didn't. I agree with you. I didn't really like speed at all in the beginning here. You said you think there's going to be an attack.
Yes. Well, I think it either has to be an attack, because you have to have something occur on your turn, right? It can't be like
how they originally designed it, though.
So you can't. Yeah, hold on. Hold on. I'll get it out there.
Okay.
So when you use it, something has to happen on your turn, or else you just skipped your turn to take it later.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So something has to happen, and this has to happen in the case of, it's either an attack that happens, a basic attack plus all of the benefits you get, or it is use this active trait and it does not take up an action.
Or yeah, so like a refund of 1,000 initiative. Right. I can see that. Or how about this though? For a rework, instead of making it have to apply to the caster, they make it a buff that you can apply to either of your other 2 heroes, and that way they don't need the attack because something is happening on your turn. You're buffing someone else. So what do you think about that as an option?
To buff speed on somebody else, I think that's an advanced trait.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, I
think that's mega powerful, honestly.
I agree. I think it's very, very strong. I don't see them adding that attack. I like the idea of a refund of initiative, because I think based on the design that it has right now, this is why we ranked it so low, and why I still think it's going to be kind of on the low end. I don't think it's going to have that kind of built-in action plus the bonus. I think it's going to be just the bonus, and I think it's still going to be kind of underwhelming, at least for the way that like I want to play with my heroes. I think there's definitely builds where it could work.
If
like,
it's
I don't know
if it's on par. Like, okay, so let's just take a look at the macro scene real quick, right? We've got critical aim and death mark in the same like sphere as heal, cleanse, iron skin, and poison blade, blinding winds. Poison blade and blinding winds are legitimately like insanely good for what they are. I would say the supports are probably a little bit lower than in value comparatively, like especially heal. But then critical aim and death mark are insanely valuable for the job that they do, right? So I mean, we could look at it as like Poison Blade Blinding Winds utility, right? It doesn't matter who's got them. It's just utility. I really hope you have high dex and you hit this, right? So these are like, this is utility / DPS, very, very, very low on the DPS end. The Heal, Cleanse, Iron Skin are all support abilities, but it doesn't help the supporting unit do their job better. Critical Aim and Death Mark
I like
do.
Iron Skin a lot more than you have it ranked here because it's not based on your health, it's based on the incoming damage. And
right.
So if they're setting up an AoE with a channel, it's really easy to counterplay with it, and I think you get a lot of value no matter what hero it's on.
Right. Yeah. No, no matter what. So I think speed is I think that the supports are going to be buffed to keep up with the nerfs that are going to take place to Critical Aim specifically. I think Deathmark's probably in a really good spot. I think Critical Aim's going to get nerfed to be around the usefulness of Deathmark. I think that with Deathmark with Critical Aim, it has to be a multiplier on damage done from critical strikes for 2 rounds as well to make it perfect.
Well, so here's one interesting thing about Critical Aim: you can't do any of those 3 setup combos with it. You can only do one that does a 2 setup. I think that's interesting.
Right. I completely agree with you. And it doesn't matter how fast you are. Like if you're doing your channel speed combo, which I think should work with this, it's going to tick off faster because for one of your turns you're doing a channel. So you only get 1 critical hit out of it. I think what this is going to turn into is your next 2 hits have a critical chance increased. Rather than for 2 rounds.
It needs to be nerfed. Now you're saying that it should get a massive buff.
Yeah, I think it's.
I think it's careful with your terms here. 2 hits. I think you mean next 2 actions.
Well, yes. So your next 2, because healing can crit as well. So I think the rework here is going to be your next 2 actions are going to have a 70% bonus crit chance, or an additional 70% crit chance, and a 1.2 modifier on the critical damage or healing.
Oh,
I think. That's
and no attack
or a 1.1 or a 10% increase in critical damage,
and then it drops the attack. Or you're saying that'd be insane. That's it'd be way too powerful.
I mean, I'm literally only adding 10% of the crit damage to it. That's not that bad.
I don't know. I already think it's one of the strongest.
It is one of the strongest because it enables the holder. So for a DPS unit, this enables them to DPS harder. This is the point I'm saying when it comes to reworks. This enables DPS harder. Deathmark enables support DPS harder. However, with Heal, Cleanse, and Iron Skin, it doesn't help the support unit support better. That's where we have to keep our minds when it comes to rework. And I think speed is going to be more in line with the reworks of Critical Aim and Deathmark rather than the other ones. So for
Heal, Cleanse, and Iron Skin, you kind of want those to be on a class that doesn't traditionally do healing, cleansing, or buffing.
Right. At least that's the idea.
Kind of it's a good get for someone who doesn't have any healing abilities to get a heal for free. That's nice.
Right.
Versus a healer getting that is going to be kind of a waste.
Yes. So because
a healer getting that is going to have a turn where they don't need to spend their very valuable mana pool.
Maybe, but they have better.
Rotationally, I'd rather be using a heal with my healer. So
they probably have better. I don't know. It's a strong heal, but regardless,
they probably have better heals that cost mana. That's my whole point.
I want to get back to speed though, because that's what this whole thing started on.
So I think the rework for speed is going to be more in line with how we see Critical Aim and Deathmark, where it enables the user to do its job more, rather than taking up a support unit and just granting a buff, right? So I think the way we're going to see speed is you use this for free. This does not take up your action. This does not take up what you do this turn. It gives you a buff for the next 2 rounds, which is either a speed buff or when your turn ends, gain 500 initiative for the next 2 rounds, right?
Yeah.
So it just gives you an injection of speed immediately, but it has to do something else on the turn, which would be a small attack or it lets you take another turn. So you cast speed.
Why, sorry, I want to go back. Why? That sentence you just said is it has to. Why?
Because then you're just skipping a turn to take it later. So if you inject 500
that's
initiative,
why this is rank D. I think that's why this is one of the worst ranked ones, is because if it doesn't have that, it's not a good move.
But speculating on how it'll be reworked and making it cohesive with what we've got right now, like making it work with what we've got, it would have to do
so what value is there in making a channel not interruptible because you go too fast to be interrupted? I mean, that's a little bit of that softer value, but it isn't just a raw, 1 turn now for 2 turns later. It's 1 turn now for guaranteeing that my super combo with the channel doesn't get interrupted by the other team. Who is the player who will be actively looking out for that stuff and trying to interrupt it?
I think
that's fair counterplay.
It's a slippery slope though, because I think if they give what you're saying, if they add the little attack or if they add it as a free move, it might be too powerful.
I think that's the only way to do it, though. It might even just be 1 turn, right? So say, for instance, it's use this for free and take an action this turn. So you use speed and say, you're on your archer and you throw up your channeled ability, or we'll just say channeled ability, right? Say we're doing, what is it, rapid shot? That's the one. No, not rapid shot.
Sharpshooter. Let's just say sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter.
Dead
there we go.
Aim is the other one.
Yeah, we'll do sharpshooter. Yeah. So say I'm on my archer, I use speed, I get to use another move, right? And then I queue up sharpshooter, and now on my next turn, I get either an injection of initiative or a giant speed boost to carry me through that channeled move. So it's basically I get to cast a channel once per battle. I get to channel 1 channeled move really quickly. Like that's the way I see it. Or say I 1 small stone. Well, no, this has amnesia now. But say I want a multi-shot really, really, really quickly. So I use speed. I get to multi-shot as well. And then my next turn comes up really quickly, and I get to multi-shot again. Like that's the way I'm seeing it playing out in terms of like being a usable, workable skill. Other than that, I don't see it actually doing anything else.
Then for DPSs, it's the best basic.
It's also good for healers because I want to heal now and heal again real quick. Or I want to set a delay and I want that delay to come up real quick. It works across the board for everybody.
I understand what you're saying, and I think what you're laying out is very interesting. I don't think it's going to work that way because I think it's going to be too strong if it works that way.
I think it'll be just right. I think it'll be in line with a 70% additional chance to crit. I think it'll be in line with target receives 20% additional.
Are you going to re-rank it right now, or are we're going to have to put like a to be decided on this?
I think I have to do a to be decided because we don't know how it's going to work. This old rating, I'm going to say speculative rating.
Yeah.
I think the speculative rating on this is going to be like naturally an S.
I mean, based on the way you're describing it, it's going to be way stronger than that.
I think you're underestimating how strong everything else is going to be.
Maybe that's fair. Yeah.
Like,
do you want I want to keep doing this, but we did have someone jump into the waiting room. And I think SI might. You're welcome.
Oh my gosh! Look at the time.
Yeah.
All right, StycksIntern. Did you want to give something away?
Well, so I have a chef's hat and suit busy combo that I am willing to give away, and then on my next one, when I'll be at my computer, I'll give away some heroes so I can show them off. I'm on my phone right now, obviously, but I'll be back. Those of you in the audience who want more hot, spicy takes, I will be back.
Chef hat and suit, right?
Correctamundo.
All right, chef hat and suit combo. All right, we'll go ahead and start this giveaway right now. Everyone should know what's going on right now. But just in case, I'm going to try my bot again. I changed something else while we were sitting here. Maybe it'll work. If it doesn't, I'll just manually enter it again. For everyone who's newly tuned in, I am going to host a giveaway in chat. It'll let you know that it's coming up, right? As soon as I do it, it's !enter to be entered in. Hopefully, everyone, it will be populated automatically. If not, I will be entering everything in manually. So here we go. For 3 minutes, you get to enter.
Also, shout out StycksIntern Wednesday nights, office hours, always entertaining.
Oh, it's
Thank
working.
you for coming on.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate it. It was really nice coming on, having my time cut short on both ends. But yeah, no, that's actually a joke. I will be back multiple times because it sounds like Beeve needs me to fill in for Dags, and that's where we'll talk about, I hope, Dark Summoning a bit because that was what he wanted to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Dark Summoning, I'll just lay the seed now, is the only effective way to play to an adaptive meta. It's the only tool in the game that lets you speed level heroes and the only way to respond to a meta, and that's why it's the most important tool in the game for players to understand. I'll leave it there for when I come back with you.
Laying it down, I love it. Okay, very cool. We'll definitely take that topic up.
Oh my god, it's working! It's working!
Dope. All right, I'll drop down. You guys can bring in Workhorse. I want to listen to that. See ya.
Hell yeah, man. See you later tonight.
StycksIntern. Thank you.